What is up everyone, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video we got a very simple topic, which is why you're not improving in Fortnite and how to improve faster. So this is a video I do once in a while, basically going over the most common reasons why people don't improve at Fortnite when they're trying to, and what you can do to fix those issues. I know a lot of you guys are sitting there grinding the game and you're trying to get better at it, but you feel like you're not making progress quick. I can almost guarantee you that you're making some of these mistakes, and if you do what I say to fix them, you're going to make some massive progress. Before we get into it though, be sure to drop a like on the video if it helps you out, subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want to see more, and also guys, if you want to show some extra support, it's always super appreciated if you could use code Teckoh in the item shop. It's 100% free for you and it seriously does help me out a bunch. As always, a big thank you to everyone who uses it. But with that said, and without further ado, we got a lot to cover, so let's get straight into it. So getting into our first reason why people aren't improving at Fortnite. One of the biggest reasons I see for why people are not improving in the new chapter 6 specifically, is simply because they refuse to try and learn the new techniques and mechanics that are released with each individual season and chapter. What I mean is basically learning the new meta. In my past videos, I stressed the importance of doing this, and I always say it, and I know it can be hard, and even I had a difficult time adjusting to the new mechanics and movement this season, because frankly chapter 6 came with a lot of changes, but it's better you learn everything sooner than later. Players are going to be coming up with all sorts of exploits and strategies using the new movement mechanics. I've already seen a ton all over Twitter. There's a ton of movement tricks, box fighting tricks, ton of stuff like that people are coming up with for chapter 6. You also got the EJ dash, which was an OG move that was actually removed, and you're finally able to do that again. You can side jump a lot higher because of the ledge jump, and 90s have a whole different look and feel to them if you use the new movement mechanics. Not everyone does, but some people are trying to do that. The new movement might not seem like much, but I promise you it's only going to get more complicated when people come up with new techniques, and you don't want to fall behind on any of the new mechanics. So make sure you're staying up to date, watching videos on it. And obviously guys, I'm going to be keeping you updated with the best techniques and tricks, so be sure to stay tuned. But definitely keep yourself up to date and do everything you can to adapt to the meta. Getting into our second reason why you might not be improving in chapter 6, this one's a little bit more complicated, but still has to do with the new items introduced in this season, and it has to do with the fact that you're probably not using the right weapons that fit your playstyle. What I mean is that a lot of players are not using the correct weapons that fit into the way they like to play the game, their level of aggression, or their playstyle in other terms. For example, I'm more of a defensive player. I focus more on piece control and trying to keep my distance while outplaying my opponent, so I'm going to opt more for the hollow AR and the sentinel shotgun, for example, so I can hit big shots without letting someone in my box. And this season that's super important, especially with the twin fire shotgun, because somebody jumps in with that and you're going to be in a bad situation. So if you're a more aggressive player, you definitely want to use an SMG or the Fury AR, which can do a lot of damage to builds and are really good spray options. If you're one of those controller players that can insta-kill someone with your SMG, then that's definitely a good option. With the twin fire shotgun, you want to get into players' boxes and hit them hard with it. Since it does a lot of damage, it shoots fast, but it has low range. I know this reason seems really simple and straightforward, but I know a lot of players that are using the wrong guns in game. They don't match their playstyle, and it costs them a ton of fights where they could have easily won if they were carrying the right loadout. Getting into reason number 3, and reason number 3 is that you're not using the right movement items in the game to their full potential. I've seen so many times where players are carrying the new OP movement items but are not using them properly, and there's so much room for improvement, and there's actually a decent skill gap with those items. The Void Mask is one of the most OP items that we've had in a while, and if you have this, it's going to be pretty hard to mess up. You can teleport to high ground essentially, teleport side jump on someone, and even carry your teammate out of fights by teleporting with them on your back. What I'm saying is there's a lot of possibilities with this stuff, and there's still so many players that either don't want to pick it up or they're not using the exploits and tricks that they should be using. So definitely make sure that you're using the movement items, guys. Look into how to use them effectively, some tips and tricks that you can use with them. Let me know if you guys want to see like a meta video about that stuff. I can definitely go over some techniques and whatnot, but hopefully that gives you guys a good idea as to what you can do with those movement items. Now getting into our 5th reason, and this one is a bit more general, but it plays into how you need to be sharper than ever in terms of your overall skills in chapter 6, because everybody's pretty much crazy at the game right now. Because of all the crazy new items that honestly, a lot of them don't take a lot of skill to use, a lot of spray weapons and stuff like that. It's important that your mechanics and aim are on point so you can get out of sticky situations and easily kill anyone you're facing. So what you want to do, in my opinion, is start figuring out a warm-up routine or some daily practice type of routine. You can use improvement maps, 1v1 maps, you can even VOD review and things of that nature, so your mechanics and aim see a large increase. I really recommend that you do go for some sort of routine-based type of deal with this. You don't have to write out a full practice routine and say 9 a.m. I'm going to do this, 10 a.m. I'm going to do this. I think that's a little bit unnecessary, but having a good list of maps that you use, different ways you practice, just having some sort of general structure to it and knowing what you're going to do before you get on, it definitely helps. That way you can keep yourself focused, keep yourself motivated, and you'll see consistent progress. I made a video not too long ago that still applies today, all about improving your general skills, such as my how to improve in chapter 6 video, my how to rank up in chapter 6 video, and a ton of other videos on my channel, and I'll have have more coming out soon. I've got a ton of videos where I highlight good maps to use, what to do in them so you see the most improvement, and what types of things pro players do every day to stay at the top. But honestly, just practicing and improving on those core skills consistently and making sure you stay structured with it is going to give you the best chance at seeing a really major improvement early in the chapter, and is going to set you ahead of like 99% of other people that don't do this. So moving on to reason number 5, and I'm going to go over something that I find very important that people underutilize, and that's VOD reviewing. So if you don't know, VOD reviewing comes in one of two forms. It's either first person or third person. First person is a very simple concept. You go in game, you play it out, and then you look back at your gameplay, whether it's in replay mode or you record it, and you look for where you made mistakes, what led to you dying, where you can improve, and the things that you do right that you can capitalize on in the future. Pretty much every single pro player does this. They watch back their games, they learn from their mistakes, they learn from what they did right and wrong, and it's one of the biggest things that separates pros from regular players. And then you've got a third person VOD review, which a lot of you guys can do pretty easily. You basically find a pro player that you want to play like or want to learn from, you watch their gameplay, and you do the same exact thing. You see what you can learn from them. Even if you just watch 10 minutes of a pro player's gameplay, I guarantee there are a bunch of things you can pick up and take into your own gameplay that are going to set you up for success and make you way better. The game is constantly changing. Obviously, there's updates nonstop, and VOD reviewing your games and VOD reviewing pros, especially because pros are usually on top of the meta, it's a really great way for you to stay on top of the meta, not fall behind, and make sure you're consistently improving and not making the same mistakes over and over again. Moving on to our 6th reason why you might not be improving in Fortnite, and one of the biggest reasons you might not be seeing improvement could be the way in which you handle pressure. This is a very specific reason, but I promise you it's still one of the most important things for your improvement. You see, when someone's playing really aggressive on you, they're pushing, they're spraying, they're doing all this, how you decide to play in response can change the way the fight plays out. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is they get hit in a fight, they take a lot of damage, and they just cower away. They try to run, they try to get as many heals off as possible, when really what you want to do is you want to turn around the pressure when you can. Obviously, if you get hit heavily, you want to pop some heals, definitely create some distance, use your hard materials like brick and metal, get some heals off, but I think the momentum in the fight is something everybody overlooks. If you're the one pushing and you're the one being aggressive and your opponent's the one playing scared, that's almost always going to be the best case scenario for you. On the other hand, if you're the one getting pushed, you're the one under pressure, you're the one getting nervous, that's going to set you up in a terrible position and make it easy for your opponent to get in your head and end up outplaying you. So what I'm saying here is within fights, try to be as aggressive as you can. Obviously, if you're 10 HP, you don't want to be super aggressive, but if you have the loot, materials, and HP for it, you can easily turn around the pressure in a fight and do really well. And if you need to get better at these high pressure situations, guys, you can do a lot of things. You can play more ranked, you can even play tournaments. Even if you're not going to place high in the tournaments, I always say it's really good for practice anyway, because the people in there are a lot more serious, they're really trying to win. But overall, doing those kind of higher pressure game modes can be really good for helping you improve under pressure and helping you actually apply these strategies where it matters. And getting into reason number 7, this is another fighting related reason, and if you get good at this, it can easily change how your fights go, and I guarantee you'll see massive improvement early into this chapter if you can utilize this. So the mistake a lot of people make here that I'm going to talk about is the skill of recognizing what playstyle your opponent has and playing to it. So basically, they fail to recognize that. Now, this can sometimes be hard because obviously some fights are just short, but let me explain how you can use this to your advantage. For example, if you're playing against a very aggressive opponent, you see them editing their walls a lot, maybe they're trying to go for a lot of peeks, that's the type of situation where you'd want to bait them, right? So you don't want to give them a chance to get a good peek on you, but you want them to think they're going to be able to. So that's where you'd maybe jump on their wall with your pickaxe out and then immediately take your shotgun out and pre-fire them when they edit, or where you'd kind of spray a little bit more from a distance, get some damage on them. Whereas if they're very passive, they don't like to make a lot of moves, then you go for an easy right-hand peek, keep the pressure on them, and basically make it so they can't go anywhere. So basically what I'm saying is sometimes you want to stop and think for just a second about how your opponent's playing and how you can play that to your advantage. Now, a lot of this does come with experience and time and VOD reviewing, but really just watch how your opponent starts the fight and you should get a decent idea. Like, do they box up immediately? Do they try to go for height? Are they just standing there trying to shoot you? These are the types of questions you should quickly ask yourself when you're getting into a fight, and it can change the entire way your fight plays out, help you end them faster, help you handle them better, and give you a better understanding about what you're actually going against. If you can really get good at this, guys, it is going to help you improve so much. But with all that said, guys, that's going to be 7 different reasons why you might not be improving in chapter 6. Overall, I can almost guarantee that for most of you guys, at least some of these are going to apply. And if you can take my advice here, learn from what you do right and wrong, figure out which of these mistakes you're making and improve on it, you're going to see some massive improvement in chapter 6. I'm telling you guys, if you can take all these strategies and use them to your advantage, you're going to be an absolute force to be reckoned with. But with that said, guys, hopefully this video did help you out. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of it, and if you guys have any other reasons. If you found this video helpful though, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want to see more content just like this in the future. future. I've been absolutely grinding out tips and tricks videos, and it's not going to stop, so make sure you don't miss out. And if you guys want to show some extra support, it's always super appreciated if you could use code Teckoh in the item shop. It's completely free for you, and it seriously does help me out a bunch. As always, a giant thank you to everyone who uses it. But with all that said, guys, thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.